Well, you're about to see a shocking video. It's an EPA official giving a speech back in 2010 and telling the audience that the way that you deal with energy producers domestically is by crucifying them. Listen to this.
I was in a meeting once and I gave an analogy to my staff about my philosophy of enforcement, and I think it was probably a little crude and maybe not appropriate for the meeting, but I'll go ahead and tell you what I said. It was kind of like how the Romans used to conquer little villages in the Mediterranean. They'd go into a little Turkish town somewhere, they'd find the first 5 guys they saw, they'd crucify them. And then, that town was really easy to manage for the next few years.
So in reaction to this video, Oklahoma Senator James Inhofe took to the Senate floor and announced that he wants now to investigate the EPA and their so-called crucifying strategy. Joining me now from Washington, Senator James Inhofe. Good morning to you, sir.
Well, good morning, Gretchen.
So it turns out that EPA administrator now wishes that he would have used different words other than crucify. But what did he exactly mean by that? What's he trying to do?
Well, he apologized for using that word, but he went on to say we want to vigorously enforce. Let's keep in mind this is all a part of Obama's war on domestic energy. He's the one who said that we have good natural gas and plentiful and all that, but we got to stop hydraulic fracturing. This is the war on hydraulic fracturing because, Gretchen, you can't get 1 cubic foot of natural gas out of a tight formation without using hydraulic fracturing. And look, this procedure was started in my state of Oklahoma in 1949. There's never been one documented case of groundwater contamination. Now that is what brings us up to what they're trying to do with the EPA, attacking these people. I used several examples on the floor, but Range Resources in Texas, they went after them. They actually threatened to send them a letter. They're going to fine them $50,000 a day. And then, of course, the courts intervened, found that they weren't guilty of anything. Well, that's the tactics that have been used, the enforcement tactics of the EPA.
So what is your accusation, that the president is pandering to environmentalists and to the EPA?
Yeah, what he's doing is trying to make the public believe that he is for domestic energy, and specifically natural gas and oil and coal. But at the same time, he says that they're going to take over the regulation of a process called hydraulic fracturing. And that's the only way that you can get into these massive, large, tight formations. So it's an attack to try to satisfy both sides. He's whispering to the left, that's all right, we'll stop him from doing this by stopping hydraulic fracturing. Then he's saying to the public at the same time, we are for natural gas and all of that. Particularly with, the high price of gas coming up and elections coming up. It's a big issue.
Mm-hmm. So here's that apology that we were alluding to at the top of this segment from the administrator in Region 6 of the EPA. I apologize to those I have offended and regret my poor choice of words. It's interesting because when you see that video back from 2010, he almost says at the beginning, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I will anyway. Maybe thinking that it would never get out there and that somebody like yourself wouldn't be looking into it?
Well, obviously, but keep in mind, he's talking to the people who are in enforcement. And he's kind of drawing the picture there of the Romans crucifying the people in Turkey as they go into these villages, crucifying the first 5 people they see. This is how you get their attention. This is how we get, and so, read his whole statement, and it's pretty revealing. And I think when he comes out and apologizes for using the word crucify, he's still getting his message across there. Intimidation, threats. How would you feel if you received a letter from the EPA saying that they're going to fine you $50,000 a day? You'd be counting how many days is it I can stay in business.
Exactly.
And the other thing, how many people never just respond and go out of business? We don't know that.
Okay. Senator James Inhofe is launching his own investigation into this. Thanks for explaining it to us this morning. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Gretchen.